cultivate. And the best part of our expert series in 2025 is that each session is just a 30 minutes bite-sized webinar, perfect fitting into your coffee break or just a quick learning session in your busy day. And what makes this year's series even more special is that we are bringing in expert coaches from different sports to share their insights. This means you'll get a sport-specific strategies tailored to the unique demands of the different sport. In this episode, we'll be diving deeper into tennis, and we're focusing on building foundation for a junior tennis players. We'll be also covering other essential topics like nutrition for Ramadan and menstrual health for female athletes in the last 2 episodes, along with many more valuable discussions for different sport and conditions. These sessions are designed to be more practical, engaging, and immediately applicable, so be sure to catch up all the series. To stay updated with all our latest expert series, don't forget to subscribe to our newsletter by scanning the QR code here. The next thing is the snack membership. For just 89 ringgit per year, you'll gain our full access to our exclusive lineup of 11 expert series this year, just like the one you are experiencing today, and on-demand access to our last year expert series that you can catch up at any time. But that's not all. You'll also enjoy exclusive discount and receive merchandise value at over 300 ringgit. Think of it as your first step to elevating your sport and health performance to a new height. And if you're ready to take a plunge, scan the QR code here to learn more and join our snack community today. Once again, welcome everyone to join us in our third expert series in 2025, Building Foundation for Junior Tennis Players. Before we start, let me have a quick survey on who are the ones that joining us tonight. Are you an athlete? Are you a parent? Are you a coach, a sport professional, or medical teams, or other health professionals, or none of the above? And our second question will be, should a kid start tennis as young as possible and focus more on technical skills than fun? Let me see. So the first one, I want to check our demographic, the demographic of our audience today. We have most of our audience tonight are the parents, and then followed by athletes, and then we also have some sports science and medical team. To see later, maybe we can have more athletes. Yeah, so now we have other health professionals, and we have none of the above from our audience. Maybe you can share who are you and where are you from. While looking at the second question, should a kid start tennis as young as possible and focus on more technical skill than fun? Actually, we have half. Half of us choose like technique is the primary, and half of us choose no, fun first, technique later. Yeah, so I won't tell you what is the answer the answer now, but later Coach Hussein will tell you whether a kid should start tennis as young as possible or they should have more fun first. Now we have people choosing that the kids should have more fun first and then technique later. Okay, currently we have more parents joining us. Yeah, so later Coach Hussein will tell all of us how to build a foundation for a junior tennis player. All right, so feeling lost, I have maybe all of us like always have the question like feeling lost navigating the child's tennis journey or unsure how to build the right foundation for success. And we're also always wondering what it really takes to raise a confident and resilient young athlete. Whether you are a parent, a player, or even a coach, this webinar is the key for us to unlock the expert strategies among the grassroots tennis players. Join us to discover how to set realistic expectations, nurture a growth mindset, and create a support system that empower young athletes to thrive both on and off the court. Today, we are very honored to have Coach Hussein, who is an assistant head coach at Moratoglu Tennis Program in Epsom College in Malaysia. Coach Hussein has been coaching for the past 10 years with players from beginners to advanced level. He's very passionate about developing athlete skills, strategies, and even their mindset to help them reach their full potential in tennis. Join us for these insightful sessions as Coach Hussein will share what are the key elements in developing young athletes. Before we start, just a quick reminder, please stay muted throughout the session, and if you have any questions, drop them in the chat box and we'll be addressing them during the Q&A at the end. Without further ado, let's welcome Coach Hussein.
Hello, everyone. I hope everyone is doing good. So before I begin talking about the topic that I'm supposed to share today, I just want to share with all of you a little about myself. So my name is Hussein Rashid, and I'm a tennis coach from Malaysia. I've been coaching tennis for the past 15 years and have been coaching players of all levels, basically from beginners all the way to advanced players, high performance players. For those of you who knows about the International Tennis Federation coaching certification, I'm also an ITF Level 2 certified coach. So as you see in the slides, the first slide, it's a Moral tennis program at Epsom Malaysia. So currently, I am the assistant head coach of the Moral tennis program at Epsom College, Malaysia. For those of you who don't know about tennis so much, Mouratoglou Tennis Academy is owned by Patrick Mouratoglou. He runs the HQ in France, Nice. For those of you, who knows Patrick, he has been coaching many pro players, man or woman, like Stefanos Tsitsipas, Holger Rune, even Serena Williams. And currently, he is coaching Naomi Osaka. So with his expertise and coaching methodology, he has opened up many centers around the world, and one of it is in Epsom College in Malaysia. So for those of you who know the Grand Slams of tennis, we in FTA, Epsom College in Malaysia, we have three of the Grand Slam surfaces, which is the Australian Open hard courts, the US Open hard courts, and also the French Open clay courts. We actually have the only indoor clay courts in Southeast Asia. So the facility is really a world-class facility. It's like how they built in Nice, France. All right, so I mean, in Mouratoglou tennis program, we have many different programs here in Epsom College, which caters to the needs of the players. So basically, we have fundamental programs which we cater to the beginners. We have flagship program, which we cater for mostly our intermediate and advanced players. I mean, one thing good about this tennis and school at Epsom College, Malaysia, is that we always try to find the balance between the tennis and school. All right. So this is the toughest part, being a sports and being an athlete, because the challenges of balancing, it's very tough. But here in Epsom College, we try to help as much as we can for the kids' development. Well, that is just a little insight about myself and where I work. So, right, today I'm going to talk about building foundation of a junior players. I mean, there are a few components which I feel is essential in building the right foundation for a player. But before we get to that, we need to also understand why and what are the reasons. So basically, first, why is it important for us to build a good foundation for a junior tennis players? So number one, as per you see the slides, it's early development of a kid sets the tone for a player's career. What this means is because with the right development at the foundation stage, it will make the kids play the sports easier. And sooner or later, they will begin to love the sports even more. This will obviously makes them continue the sports longer and longer. Well, the next one is obviously, I think most of you know, which prevents you from getting burnout or any injuries, which is very common in tennis because, I mean, I've been coaching, I've been playing. Tennis is a marathon, it's not a sprint. So you have to look at the long run, so we have to. So that is the second one. And then the third one, I also feel from my experience, we have to emphasize on lifelong enjoyment of the game. So this is all related also, because if you don't like the sport, you won't continue, so we always have to emphasize that is the importance of building the strong foundation through these components. And then finally, of course, a strong foundation includes technical, tactical, physical, and mental aspects. So these are the why that, it's important for you to build a foundation in a junior tennis players. Now, we are going into the what. So I think we can go to the next slides. All right. So now comes to the what is important when you look into getting a good foundation for a junior tennis player. So first thing is coming to the question that you guys are asking. I mean, I think Paula have raised this question. Which do you think is important at the stage of a kid playing tennis? Should they have fun more, or should we focus more on the technique? I would say this comes with stages. When I say stages, meaning the stages of development. Different ages needs different needs. So at the age of 5 to 9 years old, you see, these are kids who are young. You want to put a lot of fun, a lot of enjoyment, but also put in the movement skills, the hand and eye coordination, because all the motor skills need to be developed at this age. So if you ask me, I'll put a ratio, 70% they must have fun and 30% they must work on the technical stuff. All right. So we still have to work on the technical stuff because they came to play tennis. So at the end of the day, they have to play tennis, you know. So after that, we go to the second stage, which is the ages 10 to 13. So this ages 10 to 13, I mean, they have the fundamentals already, but then they also need to start learning a higher intensity. So that's when we bring down the fun in it, where we get more into technical stuff. So I will put a ratio of 50% to 50% the ratio for ages 10 to 13. But because they are still young, you know, we still got to give that enjoyment, that fun in the training so that they don't get bored, they don't get, you know, lazy, they don't get annoyed, you know. These are kids, you know, because they have a lot of emotions going on. And then finally is the ages 14 and above. These are the critical age where they already specialize into the sports. So these ages, we want to focus more on the sports side. That's why I put a ratio of 70% into the technical or tactical stuff and just 30% fun. Still, there is some ratio of fun in there because at the end of the day, we want the kids to have fun. All right. So, I mean, these are the stages of development. If you ask me, what are the age of a kid to play? They can play any age, but it's just how, and I mean, what do you focus on that age? That is the most important. All right. So now you guys know. So if anyone asks you, what age can I play tennis? Any age is that's what you focus on. All right. Okay, now coming to the components that are essential in building the right foundation of a junior tennis player. So first, I've put the technical fundamentals. Of course, you want a good player to be good from the foundation, from the fundamentals. You want to instill good technical fundamentals. All right, this is very important at this stage because kids has to get the right grips, has to get the right stances, all this technical stuff. You know, we want them to get it right. I mean, for me, because I mean, I learned the biomech of tennis. So I implement this biomech of tennis into their strokes. So the balance, the inertia, the opposite force, which will make them play tennis easier, hit the shot easier without using so much of effort. You know, so the kids gets less tired. So this is, you know, it's actually playing the psychological factor with the kids, giving them the right technique, and then they will be able to play. So, but then many of my clients, I would say, they come to me as like, Coach, my kid is 6 years old. How am I going to make him play with a big racket, a hard ball? He's not going to be able to play. But now with the current technology, we are all being introduced with less pressured ball. I don't know if you know the red ball, the orange ball, the green dot ball, the yellow ball, you know, all these technology changes helps the kids to play tennis easier. Even like a 6-year-old kid, they even created smaller size racket. We have 18-inch racket, we have 21-inch racket, 23-inch, you know, there's many varieties. So then if let's say my client comes and say, oh, my kid is too small, they can't play. I say, no, we have a small racket for you. We have a big ball for you, less pressure. They can get the right technique from a young age. So that's why I say technical fundamentals is very important, and it is possible now. You know, if you ask me during my time when I was playing, there was no technology like this. So what happens is I was learning the back technique from start, but eventually when I grow, I adapted to it. But right now it's a fast track, I would say. So technical fundamentals are key for good foundation. Next will be the physical development. So when I say physical development, of course, an athletic body, an athletic mobility, it's easier to play tennis. So, but then it doesn't come just like that. You know, we have to emphasize. So it is important to start emphasizing more on footwork, agility, coordination, and balance exercise. This is basically the ABC of athletic development. All right. I mean, one other way that I do a lot with my other kids and all is we do multi-sports. Because in multi-sport, it helps them develop the other parts, other muscles that are not using in tennis. So it's actually an overall. So they do swimming, they do football, there's different things that you can get from all these multi-sports. Of course, physical development, one reason why is because we want to prevent injuries. When they have muscle, they start playing tennis, it's lesser for them to get injuries. Yeah, so these are the two things. The last one is my favorite thing actually, the mental development. Because I mean, in every sport, of course, the mental part is very challenging, but in tennis, it's an individual sport. See, so when it's an individual sport, you are alone in the court, at that moment, you're pressured, you're, nervous, you're having so many factors going around you, so these things are very, very essential in tennis development. So how do you build a good foundation in terms of the mental development? All right, so it's very important for the coach. That's why I put that, the parents role, the coach role, the nutritionist role. Why do I say this is because building this mental and habit, it's a lot to do with communications. It is important for the coach or parents or any third party like nutritionists, physios, to create a safe environment where the player feels safe with you. So when you have this, the players have this feel okay to do a mistake, they're not scared to talk to you, it shows already they're opening up their mind, so we always have to encourage a growth mindset, so a lot of parents I see at that stage, they always emphasize on results. Okay, so when you talk about results, it's actually giving pressure to the kids. So when you go for a match, you come out, the first thing a coach or anyone going to ask, did you win or lose? It's already putting that kind of pressure on them already. It's like, oh, if I lose, I don't want to, they get so closed up, so it's just a way of approaching this. Rather than asking like that, you go, all right, how did you do? How well did you do? You see, the approach is more positive. Instead of going to the negative side, we get into it. So this also builds their mental development. Because at the back of their head, they'll be like, oh, my coach worry about how I play rather than the results. So I mean, mental and habit, it's I would say you need to keep building this eventually. But what I'm emphasizing here is to create a positive environment. So like, for example, I know that even with the nutritionist, basically just to share with you guys, SNAC is actually working with Motor Glue tennis program at Epsom College, Malaysia, with some of our tennis players. And when they come and visit us, when they speak to our kids, I can see the relationship. Of course, they are discussing about the diets, the eating habits, the pre, during, post analysis. But at the end of the day, we are all trying to create a positive habit here. What do they take before they take? It's all habit. So it should be started during the foundation of the player. Because at the age of 10, they say, why this kid need to know about nutrition? I said, no, you're actually building the habit. It's not that you're going to emphasize 100% on it, but then you're going to start slowly. All right, do this now. At the end, by the time they're age 13 or 14, they'll be really good at it already. So yeah, after sharing my thoughts and idea about the four main components in developing the right foundation in a junior tennis player, we could actually see and realize that there are a lot more than this about developing a junior tennis player. I mean, like I mentioned earlier, tennis is a marathon, it's not a sprint, but then most of the parents, most of the coaches, they try to get their kids to sprint. And eventually they will get burnout and they will stop tennis. And that's the last thing we want this to happen, So just to share with you, one thing good about where I'm working at, the Morocco Glue Tennis Academy program, is we cater to all these components. For instance, if you're talking about the technical development, we have groups of red groups class, we have orange group class, we have green dot group class, we have yellow group class as well. Why we created this group class is to show a pathway. I mean, okay, first you start tennis, you come, you play in the red ball. Eventually, you will graduate to the orange ball, eventually to the green dot, eventually to the yellow ball. So it shows them a direction that they have to go. There's a goal, and we use all these technical new technology to get the good basic technique. And then for physical development in our program also, we have a fitness trainer who focus on these things. So she's specialized in a fitness program and also a certified fitness trainer from Mexico, who we hired earlier this year. I mean, the reason why we hired, we feel that this is very important. So, and it needs to be specialized. And then I would say about the mental development and habits development. As I mentioned earlier, SNAC is with us. We have the parents also. We have good coaches here who's speaking to the kids to bring in that good habits and also positive mindset. All right, so yeah, before I end my session, I would like to show you a little bit of insight about my academy in molecular tennis program at Epsom College, Malaysia.
Welcome to the Muratoglu Tennis Academy. Here at Epsom, the philosophy of the Muratoglu is a student-centered approach. So we're trying to base our methodology around the student. At Epsom Malaysia, we combine both tennis program and school program. So we have really high expertise in both sectors. Kids that are beginners, they're just starting to play tennis, they're in the fundamentals program, whereas kids that are high performance players, they're in the flagship program. So we offer them to play tournaments at local and international level. The aim for our academy is also to trying to replicate as much as possible the surfaces that are main used in the Grand Slam tournament. So we have 7 Australian Open courts, and we have US Open courts, and also we have a clay coming from France, which are the only 2 clay courts in Southeast Asia. What we're trying to do here at the Muratoglu Tennis Academy in Epsom, Malaysia, is we're gonna work on the player, and we're gonna adapt the training depending on their technical skills, tactical skills, physical skills, and also what we wanna work with them is maybe a little bit higher level is the psychological part. So setting goals, how to deal with moments, emotions during the match is really important for us. So what we want to do is prepare our athletes that go and play competition to have full confidence in their game. We are really proud because we are having a high achievement in our tennis program. We have kids that are best juniors under 12 and under 10 in Malaysia.
Wow.
And we have players that monthly compete in UTR tournaments, but also international tournaments.
Yeah, so basically you saw, this is the Epsom College in Malaysia. We have tennis courts, we have football. It's a very big center or school. So before I end my session, I would like to just add my last tiny bit about foundation. Whatever it is, the components, everything is there, you know, but at the end of the day, we want the kids to have fun and always stay motivated. That's the most important, you know, because without that, they will never continue the sport, or they will never do the sports by their own. They will be forced to be doing it. That's it. All right.
Yes.
Thank you so much, guys. I hope I've given some inputs which it's meaningful for you guys. And yeah, so back to you, Paula.
All right. Thanks, Coach. This really is an insightful and very meaningful session. Thank you, Coach, once again. And now we would love to hear from our audience as well. So to our dearest audience, if you have any question, please drop that in the chat box and we'll be addressing them as many as possible. So currently we don't have any question, but I have one question to Coach. So just now you mentioned like Muratoglu always trying to find a balance between school and also tennis, especially in Epsom. So I have one question. I'm just wondering in Epsom how the school and also the MTA finding the balance for the kids, and also how Muratoglu support the tennis development among the young junior tennis players.
All right. Okay. First, to your first question, how do we balance the tennis and school? Okay. So now, when you said balancing tennis and school, of course, we want both to rise up. But then we in Muratoglu tennis program at Epsom College, we go by the year age group. Meaning, okay, because the higher year age group, you are closer to your exams, which is the IGCSEs. So for instance, from year 7 to year 9, You can take 5 subjects, essential subjects, plus 3 extra subjects. So you see, within that, during the whole week, we will try to slot in some tennis sessions in the morning sessions. So basically, they have the school timetable, and then wherever they have this free slots, we add in the tennis. So this is how we schedule it so that we can work together. In many schools, it's not like that. They don't allow that. They say that, oh no, you have to go morning school, come back after school, then go for training. So with Epsom College here, what we do is we cater to we not cater, we accommodate to the kids' schedule. All right, so from year 10 onwards, they are mostly focused on IGCSE. So we only ask them to take 5 essential subjects. So because of this, then they will have more time. All right, so then we can also slot. So you see, the more higher they go, the higher level, we bring down the subjects for the studies, but then because we know it's not easy, so that is how we actually see. We look at the overall picture so that the kids don't get burned out, they get, we look at the whole picture rather than just coming and training. Yeah, so this is the balance that we took. And then what we do in Morotoglu to help the kids for young junior players is obviously we have very high certified coaches, and then we have a certified fitness trainer, and also working with sport nutrition academies, with the players. I mean, they have been working with us for 1 year now. And I've been very happy to see the habits of the players. Before them joining us, I could see these are kids. They're coming in with junk food, snacks. They don't drink enough water. There's not enough electrolytes. All this knowledge. It might be simple things. But these simple things makes a lot of difference to the kids. So which after 1 year, I could see the difference. So these are the few things that we do in Morotoglu.
And then thanks for that. And yeah, I really think that the Morotoglu have a great coaches and then fitness trainer, as well as like it's also our pressure to work with the players to make their habits to become a habit. Yeah. And we have the second question. So what do you think is the biggest challenge among the young tennis players face in Malaysia?
I mean, the young tennis players face in Malaysia. When you said young tennis players, I'm looking at junior high performance. Okay, so junior high performance. All right, as you know, tennis is not a core sport or main sport in Malaysia. You see, so when it's not the core sport or main sport, there's not many people are playing tennis. So when there's not many people playing tennis, the community is small. So community is small, you'll be pretty much meeting with the same players, you'll be with the same group. So the exposure is very less here. So what the challenges, if you ask me, is the exposure. So that's why a lot of these Malaysian players at a certain stage, when they are really good, they travel outside. They go to Europe or they go to the US, because there, the crowd, the people who are playing tennis are way more. So when there's a lot of people playing tennis, everybody is competing to be the best. So you could see the standard eventually will get high. All right. So, but then in Malaysia, you're good, you're really good, but then there's nobody to challenge you there. So then that's where you get stagnant. So this is the one of the biggest challenge that I see in Malaysia that we're facing. We need more people to play tennis. We need more high level of tennis, Yeah, these are this is the most common challenge I see.
Yes, agreed. So as a coach, do you have like any solution for the players in Epsom, or how Epsom can try to, especially the Morotoglu tennis program, try to have the solution for this?
Yeah, so what we do is we assign players to coaches. So when a kid join our school and also our program, what we do is I look into their level of tennis, because under me, I have 6 coaches who are from France, from Italy, Spain, Mexico, and 2 of us are from Malaysia. So with their expertise, we discuss, and then we see which is the best coach that these players should work on with. All right, so then I assign this player to the coach. And what this coach, he will be the lead coach for these players. And what this coach does is he does the periodization plan for this player. So when we do this periodization plan, you can see the whole year. All right, okay. Because of there's not many high-level tennis tournament in Malaysia, so we have to look at Southeast Asia or even Asia or even sometimes in the US or Europe. And then we have to slot in the timing of that tournament, and we have to plan it that way. So in Epsom College, this is what we do specifically, because we really get into a one-on-one communication, in terms of planning all of this.
Yes, that's a very great solution to help the tennis players in Malaysia to have more.
So yeah.
Yeah, and so we have one. I don't know. Is a fun question from AJ. So,
Okay.
yeah. So, which slice for you teach kids first, whether a flat, serve, or spin?
Okay. Which serve am I going to teach the kids first? Or obviously, okay, it's slice is a bit easier. I mean, obviously the grip with the right grip, you will be able to do all kind of serve. But then for a kid, who's really started, they're just trying to put the ball in, so it's mostly flat. Okay, but then eventually, because of the strength, they won't be able to hit it harder. They won't be able to spin it harder, because of the shoulder muscle is not built up yet. So what they do is they slice it. So at that stage, when you don't have that body composition yet, you will use a lot of the slice, because for a pronation, it's much easier for younger kids. So I hope I have answered your question, AJ.
Yeah, all right. Okay, so we have another question from the audience, because just now you mentioned parents also play a role in building a fundamental as well as the foundation for a juniors players. So as a coach, I believe like you have faced different parents like that have different vision. So how do you manage expectation from parents who may have different visions than the athlete or a coach? And how can a coaches or parents work together to set a healthy goals without killing the drive for the sport?
Yeah, this is a very good question, Paula. I mean, this is the challenges that most coaches are facing, to understand the needs and expectation of the parents, because every parents, like you say, they have different expectation, they have different goals for the kids, so it's very subjective here, because at the end of the day, what the parent and what the coach want is for the kids, so it's very important that the coach have to educate the parents. Okay, sometimes mostly parents who are not playing tennis, they tend to not understand it better, because they don't do the sports, so they just very theoretically, they read by the books, then they say, oh, why you couldn't do this, why you could do. So it's mostly by the book. But then as a coach or as a player, you know what it is, so it's most important is for the coach to educate the parents. So but then what are you going to educate? Like all the components, like I mentioned earlier, so the technical development, the fundamentals, the physical development, the mental development, especially the mental development, because I see a lot of parents, they get too involved, they get after the match, they go and scold their kids, why you play, why you do this, so because of their lack of experience, in building tennis players, they tend to destroy through that way. They have no intention, they have no intention. Their intentions are good, because they want the best for the kids, but it's just the approach. So this is where the coach comes in, and say, okay, now, we can discuss this, and I can give you my point of view on this, and I'll listen to your point of view, and we'll find a solution for your son. So if you ask me, the best solution is communication. You have to get on the table with the parent, with yourself, and really brainstorm what is the expectation that you want and what I can deliver. So this is a very, very broad topic, if you ask me, Paula. But then, yeah, for me, is if both are in the same page, then it's easier to move.
Yes, I agree with that. And we also have another question from AJ. So at what age do you specialize your kid on which play style? For example, aggressive, baseliner, counter puncher, or serve volley, and etc.
I mean, of course, yeah, these are all the game styles that in tennis, so very much it's about the identity of the player. Okay, so when you're starting a tennis with these kids, very common tips that every coach gives is put the ball in. Okay, just put as many balls in, at the early stage, at the beginner. So at that stage, you are just counter puncher, just putting back the balls in. But at the stage where you develop more muscles, you became more aggressive, then eventually it's more of discussing with the player and understanding what is his favorite shot, what is his, how does he move. If he moves very fast, he can be a counter puncher because he can go right, left, just returning every ball. If he's really good at with his hands, to come up to the volley, he can do a serve volley, or aggressive baseliner if you see that he's really strong with his forehand. So it really builds up as you go. At the start, maybe just counterpuncher being consistent, but as you go on, when they start growing, then you instill all this other identity into the player. So this is what I would say. There's a no yes or wrong or a number for this answer, but it's depending on every individual.
See, yes. Thanks, Coach Hussein. Do we have any other question from the audience? If not, I would like to take the chance to introduce our the coaches from MTP as well. I saw the name of Coach Joanna and also Coach Jake. Maybe you guys can open your cam and try to introduce yourself and say hi to our audience tonight.
Hello, guys. Are you guys there?
Don't shy. I think they are there.
Oh, they're
Coach
there?
Joanna, yeah, and Coach Jake.
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we
Hi,
can
Joanna.
hear you.
Hi.
Hi.
So this is our fitness trainer who I was mentioning earlier from Mexico.
Yeah.
She's a certified fitness trainer and she has joined us from January.
But Twitter.
Giacomo. Yeah, this is Coach Jack. The video you saw earlier, that's him.
Hello, guys.
We have
Coach Jorge.
He's
also.
Coach Jorge also.
Hi.
Hello, guys.
Hey guys.
How are you?
Good. All right. Yeah. Thanks for coming, guys. Yeah. So if you guys have any questions to us, do please share. We are here to help you guys share some information to our extent. So
Yes. Do we have any other more questions? If no, yeah. If you have any more questions and you are not able to ask in here, you can just email us at our email at snack.myalliance@gmail.com or even reach out at our social media. Yeah. So at the same time, our feedback form will be posted in the chat box, and please share your feedback regarding today's expert series. I think today's series is just very nice. It's a very insightful session from Coach Hussein. Yeah. Once again, I would like to say 1,000 thanks to Coach Hussein for your time and sharing today. And I'm sure each of us has gained valuable knowledge, including how to set a realistic expectation that we could set for the grassroots tennis players, and how to develop the growth and resilience mindset in young tennis players, as well as how is the surrounding system and environment towards the professional career in tennis. And if you enjoyed our sessions tonight, we got something special for you. If you are curious about how nutrition can really make a difference in tennis performance, even you are wondering what young players need to eat to support both their growth and games, we got you covered. Check out our free virtual expert series for more in-depth insight, and don't miss out our level 2 online courses, which now available at a special price of just 28 ringgit, and its original price was 70 ringgit. So it's a pretty sweet deal. Yeah, our online course level 2 is packed with practical strategies for applying sport nutrition in tennis in real life situation. You can find out all the details in our website. You can go have a look. And that's not all. Our Expert Series 2025 still continues. So in next month, we are shifting the focus back to the nutrition for essential topics on gut health. So next month, May 29th, Miss Rawadi from Yakult Malaysia will be leading a session on the power of balance in gut and brain wellness. Yeah, so whether you are a parent, an athlete, or just a coach, or just someone who is interested in sport nutrition or interested in gut health, this one is very for you. So mark down your calendar and don't miss out, and we'll see you there. Furthermore, please stay connected with us and follow us on our social media like Instagram, Facebook, and our WhatsApp community. Take the screenshot here so that you won't miss out the latest update from us. And on our social media, we'll be also sharing some real-life testimonial on how nutrition support the growth and high performance for young tennis players. Of course, we do always share some bite-sized content for sport nutrition. If you are wondering like what the snack that you could get at the supermarket to refill, recover, and rehydrate for a better performance, you can check out at our latest snack trolley series on our social media, Instagram or Facebook at snack.my. And stay tuned for our snack trolley episodes coming in. Once again, I would like to say thank you so much for participating in today's expert series. And don't forget to give us your sincere feedback that will really help to improve our future events. And before we wrap up, I would like to say I will have a big shout out to all the tennis players out there. Keep working hard, believing in yourself, and enjoying the journey both on and off the court. And to all the amazing coaches, fitness trainer, parents, or anyone from the supportive environment, thank you so much for the constant guidance, support, and encouragement you give behind the scene. Your role is truly valuable in shaping not just a strong athlete, but confident young individual in the future. Once again, thank you so much everyone for joining our sessions tonight. See you all in the next session, and hope you have a good week again. Good week ahead. Good night, and thank you everyone. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so
guys.
much.
Bye.
Thanks, Coach.
See you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.